Okay, so before I begin my topic, I just wanted to say that I hope everyone had, a lovely holiday, whatever you celebrated. I just hope, you had a lovely time. And 2020 is thankfully wrapping up. And, it's not even a week away to next year. So it's right around the corner. Just keep your heads up high and we'll get through this together. So, with that out of the way, this movie sucked. I mean, it was boring. And, it's bad when it comes from, a comic book movie. Comic book movies should be, fun and entertaining and full of action. This movie had none of that until maybe like last minute, like the last 30, 45 minutes of the movie. It was boring. It was just. Oh. Honestly, I'm glad this was released on HBO Max and it did not come out in theaters in the US or where I'm at right now, because this just would have been a waste of money to go see this in person in the movie theater. Like, it was that bad. Like, even bad to, as, even it flopped in China. Rotten Tomatoes is now downgraded the movie from an 89% to a 68%, which is kind of scary. But that's practically going from a B plus to a D plus, and that's kind of like a little worrying, especially for a comic book movie. And when DC has had a lot of, they had their ups and downs since Man of Steel. This is just another example of their downs. And honestly, out of all the DC EU movies that have been released since the Man of Steel, I'd have to say this is the most disappointing movie I've seen in the franchise, because I fell asleep for like 10, 15 minutes, maybe more. I don't know, like I couldn't even keep up with the plot. It was just so boring. All I really remember was this guy Maxwell Lord, who wanted to grant people's wishes and had an obsession with oil that even George W. Bush would tell this guy, "Hey, calm down." It's just boring, and say what you want about Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman. At least those were entertaining. At least I could stay awake during those. But in a movie like Wonder Woman 1984, you got this movie all hyped up, especially when there's not many movies that came out this year due to the pandemic. And then and then this is the result. It's just another pure example why to never get your hopes up. So that's my message for this. Just like Wonder Woman had the message of, truth and lies and whatever it was. Like I said, I couldn't keep up with it. I was like asleep for like a while. The movie was going nowhere, like even after like the hour mark. After the 60 minutes, after 75 minutes, the movie was just going nowhere. This sequel was a totally different tone compared to the first one. This movie was much more cringeworthy, especially coming from the characters, and it's just a lot of dialogue which was cringy, and how people were handling situations that was cringy. The action sequence were okay, not definitely not more memorable. I feel like this is gonna be one of those movies which nobody's gonna remember in the future. Like we're gonna talk about this movie probably once and then maybe never mention it again or hardly ever mention it again. I mean, it's just gonna be one of those movies that just exist. That's that's what this sequel is. It's the dialogue was bad, the acting wasn't all that great from neither Gal Gadot or Kristen Wiig or Pedro Pascal. You know, Pedro Pascal was way over the top. Almost like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor and Ewan McGregor's Black Mask over the top. Like, but Pedro's character, he takes the cake when it comes to over the top acting in this franchise. I'll give you that right now. I mean, like I said, say what you want about Birds of Prey and all the other movies that came out. At least I could stay awake and I could keep up with the plot of the movies. At least I could watch those again at some point. Wonder Woman 1984. I don't think I could ever watch that again. I don't think you could pay me enough money to watch a movie like that again. It's just it's just such a downgrade. When especially you have a good actress like Gal Gadot, and she's becoming a beloved character in the franchise and a beloved actress in general. And then you have this happen, and now the hype is just all for nothing. I just wasted 2.5 hours of my Christmas day of just watching a boring movie, which I don't even remember what it was about now, to be honest. All I really remember was just Linda Carter's cameo at the end, and maybe some fight sequences. It was just a train wreck. It was just boring, and it sucks, because like I said, this is Wonder Woman. You have an iconic character, where girls and women can look up to, and Patty Jenkins goes out and does this. It's a different tone of a movie. It's almost like it's almost like an MCU movie. It's almost like a Marvel movie itself with all the campy the jokes, or what are supposed to be jokes, and all the cringy acting from the stars. It's not worth it. If you saw the first movie and you went to see the second movie, you would definitely realize the difference between the two. You would definitely realize the tone from both movies and how they're both different. You had Gal Gadot in the first movie, exploring the world of man, and being exposed to the disasters of war from man. And then you have this movie and you just have just nothing is born from lies or whatever. Like I said, I don't even remember what this movie was about. I mean, I just briefly, just a tiny bit of it. It's a shame. It's such a shame. Well, I guess I can't be too surprised since it's 2020 and we can't even have good movies out this year. Then again, there weren't that movies out to begin with, but still, the least 2020 could have is a decent movie. If you haven't seen it yet, don't. It's not worth it. You're probably gonna fall asleep like I do. It's not worth it. Don't bother streaming it. Just you're better off watching Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. You're better off watching Birds of Prey or Suicide Squad or Man of Steel. Just about anything else in the DC's extended universe than Wonder Woman 1984.